price with half the parts missing.
Oh.
And it was black. They painted them. You know, brass wasn't a big deal back then. It was a good building material, and that was about it. So I gave up on it, and about a year and a half later, a fellow by the name of Robert Ariel, who I had no idea who Robert Ariel was, wrote me a letter. With the bankruptcy of Dixie Telescopes, I had to recover my 1877. Basically, I can make you an offer you can't refuse. So I didn't bother answering his letter. I just tossed it on the table, and I picked up the telephone, and we made the deal.
Wow, that's a spectacular scope.
And except for the counterweight, it's all original. You know, pre 1900 Clark.
Clark, you say?
Yeah, except this thing. Clark had just bizarre, weird-shaped eyepieces, so I had to improvise.
That's amazing.
Yeah, see if you can. Yeah, there's the inscription: Alton Clark and Sons, 1877. They're not. I've never heard them bark except when we were down there fighting with that telescope in the wind. One of them barked twice.
What's the aperture and
it's
length
a
on this?
6-inch f/15.
Wow. Okay.
2360 millimeter focal length, and it came with one original eyepiece and a big fat. You unscrew this whole back end here and screw this big monster eyepiece on there. It's the equivalent of a 135-year-old Nagler.
I love it. So what's the focusing mechanism on this one?
Yeah, it's rack and pinion.
Oh, okay.
And you got a draw tube. And you can pull this draw tube out, and it's got a star diagonal that fits in there and a solar wedge.
Okay.
I got both of those. And the control rod for your RA slow motion, which you have to put on the other side depending on which side you're going to observe from.
Oh, okay.
You know, like I say, the counterweights are not original, but as far as I know, everything else is, except the tripod. The original tripod, according to Bob, that came with this particular tube assembly was about that much taller. And I was reading his book, and he said, I own the tube assembly, he owned the mount. I said, does that mean he's coming to Okie-Tex and he's going to unmount my telescope? No. But this is a pre-1899 mount design, so it's all pretty much authentic.
That's really neat.